Hey y'all, welcome to today's reading. Today, Spirit is bringing through messages for the new year, 2023. So I have meditated and tapped in for each pile 1, 2, and 3, to see what messages were coming through for the new year. And I felt like Spirit really wanted me to pull cards from the Spirit Messages Oracle deck. So I have a card for each that fell out. So for pile 1, we have Serenity. The most important relationship you can have is with yourself. This is a time to honor, nurture, and love yourself more by seeking out and removing any negative feelings and emotions that are left over from yesterday. Don't let past issues and resentments interfere with your serenity today. So that's for pile 1. For pile 2, we have nature. This is a time to absorb the healing properties that nature has to offer. Your mind, body, and soul need nourishment, energy, revitalization, and strength. Nature has much to offer, so take this time to connect and spend some quality time outdoors. And then we have hope. Your loved ones in the spirit world know when to reach out if they see you're at a low point. Whether you're caught up in a difficult situation or struggling with someone specific in your life, there is always hope. And so that's for pile 3. So you can take a moment to tap into which pile is calling to you. I will say that I intend all my readings to be timeless, and that your intuition is what is important here. So you can take what resonates from a reading and release the rest. And I will also say, as we are looking ahead into the new year, that the future is not set in stone, but the messages that are coming through for the future are reflecting the current energies, and the present is always open to change, and it is within your power to shift your future. So on that note, I will see you at your selected reading. Hello, pile 1. If you are drawn to the card of Serenity, then this is your reading. So serenity could be a major theme for you in the next year. And before we get into the tarot cards, which will kind of lay out what to expect over the year, I will go ahead and give you the messages that came through in meditation for you. The first thing that came through was I saw a lantern, and within it, it looked like a new flame, and it reminded me of the Hermit card. And it felt like a new passion or inspiration, maybe a new love for some of you. And for some, it felt like some kind of magical connection or heart opening. So a lot of flow and magic coming in for you, pile 1. Grace and blessings to the point that it feels almost like you're like floating on a cloud, or a sense of kind of being high in your energy, because it feels so fresh and new and light. And Spirit gave me the symbol of new shoes. So very clean white tennis shoes that are made for you for walking this path. It does feel like there is darkness that is being dispelled in this next year. I also got the sense of, along with this newness and freshness, that for some of you, this could be a new home. And for some, this could be like a new structure physically, like you're actually moving into a new house or something like that. But it could also be within, creating a new sense of family or connection in that way, and feeling more at home within yourself and your dynamics, your relationships. I also saw a white feather, and it felt like angel guidance and connection. So that could come in for some of you, or it could strengthen or change over the next year in how you connect with the angels. So let's go ahead and pull some tarot cards. And this is from the So Below deck. And I'm asking Spirit for 6 cards for generally the first 4 months, the second 4 months, and the last 4 months of next year, just to see what things might be coming up for you, pile 1. These 2 really stuck in my hand. We have 2. Another 2 stuck in my hand. 2 and... Ooh, we had 1 flip out. Need 1 more. This one's stuck in my hand. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at what's coming through for you. So the first thing I'm seeing is the transformational kind of energy that's coming through, and a movement from maybe a place of inaction into a place of action by the end of the year. So with the 8 of chalices and the 4 of chalices, it looks like there's a longing, a sense of maybe not being happy where you are, but not really sure where to go or how to move forward. So there's a lot of what I'm getting from the 4 of chalices here. There's a sense of like daydreaming and wishing and hoping, but not necessarily having clarity on what you really want, or like how to get what you really want. But you can feel that kind of longing within your heart for something new. And with the 8 of Cups, in this depiction, it shows a bit more of like a static image than in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And so this could be you having to take some time to get, again, clarity before you can make a movement. It feels like you are actually kind of figuring out what you have. So you're getting clarity on what you have so that you can better know what you want moving forward, if that makes sense. It's almost like you could be looking back over the last year or more and kind of seeing it with new eyes, with your heart more open to what you actually want, or maybe like an allowing of your heart to be open to receive what you want, because I do feel like there could be a bit of an emotional block preventing you maybe this past year, from receiving or feeling worthy of receiving something you really want. And so there is a shift here, because I feel like you are going to take the time to see what it is you want, and it will start to feel different to you. It won't feel so out of reach. Like in the Four of Cups, it's not going to just be a dream. You're actually figuring out a way to move forward. So I do feel like there's some figuring out here. And with the Five of Cups, what I'm seeing is that, well, first of all, there's a lot of cup energy. So this feels like it could be quite difficult emotionally to make a decision on. I feel like there is something here that feels safe, but it's still not what you want, and it's going to be tough, like a little bit heartbreaking, like a sense of leaving behind something that was once fulfilling for you or was all you knew. And so this is where it gets a little bit heavy, because I feel like you do make a decision, you do start to take action, but it will be just a little bit sad. Like it feels a little bit like maybe even homesickness or something. Like it's adjusting to something new and feeling out of sorts emotionally, because it's not what you're used to, but there are positives there to take in. And so once you can kind of grieve what you're leaving behind, there's so much more inspiration and movement here with the Eight of Wands. There's more coming in now. It's like once you've processed this, there's so much more that can come in for you, Pile 1. I feel like you're going to be seeing results in your life at this point that you had only dreamed about before, but they're going to be showing up in a more material way. And I feel like the energy is going to ramp up. So we maybe have like a slower start to the year, but once you do that shifting, you're going to move into much more of an active place for the second half of the year. And like the card of Serenity said, there's a time where you will have to take to honor, nurture, and love yourself, removing negative feelings and past emotions. So I feel like, again, there's this emotional energy that needs to be processed out to really open you up to receive. And I do think that in moving forward into this more active state, it could be quite a bit of pressure for you. So Spirit is coming in and saying, remember to keep that sense of serenity in your heart to protect yourself from the stress that would be kind of natural coming in for you at this point. Because along with the good of the movement and the progress forward toward what you want, it can still be tiring, it can be exhausting, it can be challenging for you. And with the Seven of Wands, there could be progression in career, in how you show up in the world as more of a leader, especially this imagery of the Seven of Wands, it always comes across as you having to take a position that can be a bit more stressful. But internally, you are in much more alignment, and therefore you feel able to handle the added stress, and it actually feels good. Like, it's energizing, it's exciting, and you can remain in that space of serenity while being in this kind of fiery energy here and moving forward and kind of stepping up in a way. I feel like more people will be looking to you, and it will be good for you to keep coming back to your center and processing your emotions, so that when you feel that others are challenging you in some way, you will remain strong and not have to like almost crumble emotionally from it. It's not going to get to you in this way and like drain you of your energy. I feel like you're going to be much more stable and at a better vantage point moving forward, and you'll be able to see how far you've come from the start of the year, when it felt more like a dream that was far away that you couldn't quite grasp, and you were dealing with a lot of that emotional watery energy. This just feels like it is clarity coming in, movement and alignment, so that you can move forward. And it looks like from this vantage point and being at a higher level in some way, whether it is your career or just you kind of taking your power back and moving forward in something, it's bringing in a new start, a very fresh new start for you, Pile 1, that feels like you're a brand new you. And the confidence here is something that I feel like you want at the start, that's coming in as the year progresses, and then brand new opportunities open up to you. So here you are working on getting to this point, but then suddenly you're at this point and so many new things come in for you. It could be that maybe this is what I'm feeling, that like some of you maybe are moving and you're starting in a new place because you feel like you need that fresh start. You want that. And this shift will help you shift emotionally, internally, energetically as well. It will challenge that part of you, but it will also be conducive to you stepping up into like a new level of like your career, or even just your energy levels moving forward. And again, like you will feel like a brand new person. And I just feel like Spirit's going to help you stay in a very stable and calm space as you move through this, so that it doesn't overwhelm you, so that you can get to this point and be able to handle it emotionally. Like, I do feel like there is a shift by the middle of the year where you can handle this and stay in that place of serenity, and that will help bring in this newness for you. So there is a sense of like having patience for this to work out, and it feels like it comes in quickly at this point. Let's go ahead and see what else is going to be happening or coming in for you for the next year. So I have 2 Moonology cards that we'll look at to see what energy is at play. Okay, interesting. So we have a fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries, and we have it's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. So you have two full moons. That's interesting. So maybe pay attention to the full moons, use them to your advantage in the next year if you feel drawn to working with the moon cycle, because there is again that releasing and purging of the negativity. Again, you have negativity and you have negative feelings. So I do feel like some of you are doing a lot of healing work at the beginning of the year. And that's really a perfect time with a new year beginning to do this work, because you're clearing the slate. And this is just opening you up again to this major transformation. And with full moon in Aries, like, yeah, this is the Aries energy. You have that freshness. If I'm not an astrologer, but I believe Aries is often considered like the start, right? That's the start of the zodiac signs. So it's like this young, fresh energy. And I feel like that's connected to the Fool for me. That's just coming forward. So yeah, there's this new, fresh, fiery start, and it's going to feel very different, right? From this watery, I feel like it's a little bit more subdued. Like it's just a different energy, but it's not negative. I don't want to say that this is negative in and of itself. You're going to be processing out the negative while also dreaming in the positive and what you want and figuring it out. So it's going to be bringing in this clarity, and then it's like, wow, so much new coming in for you, new passions. So let's see what blessings are coming in for you, what magical blessings are coming in for you from the magical spell cards. Okay, so we have success. Success that's true belongs to me. Success with honor, integrity. We have harvest. As the waves of the ocean are infinite, as the trees in the forest grow tall, let my work now bring me to harvest. I am ready to receive my all. Yeah, and then we have glamour. Into this mirror, I now see the realms of possibility. Yeah, so no matter what, through this next year, and as you're sitting here seeing these cards, Spirit does not want you to fear this, because it's going to be successful. You are going to be successful in healing and making these things happen, what you want to happen. It feels like as long as you stay committed to your path, like you're being given these fresh, new, clean, white tennis shoes. Here they're boots, pick what you want, but there's a new path with new walking shoes. And I feel like that's what this is that there's so many more possibilities that you see now, and you're going to show up feeling like you deserve it, you own it. I'm getting that maybe some of you are into fashion, like you're maybe some of you are wanting a job in that kind of industry or design in some way, like you see the beauty in the world and you want to be a part of that, and it feels like you are going to feel worthy of it so that you can then be part of it, if that makes sense. You're going to reap the benefits. The seeds you sow at the start of the year with dreaming up what you want and taking action on decisions, making a decision, trying to shift your mindset, your heart, shifting out the negative and pulling in the positive and the serene, just being at peace within yourself will just allow for that space energetically for what you want to come in, for that harvest to come in. And again, you have to have patience, right, to get to the harvest. There is time where the crops have to grow to the point of being able to be harvest, but know that, come in faith that this is going to be a success and you're going to be transformed and you're going to be seen also. I feel like you're going to be seen almost like you are a new person. It's not just going to be something that you feel, but others will notice it too. And again, like I'm feeling that, leadership energy, or something where you step up into a new role in some way, a new position, and there's maybe more responsibility, but it feels natural, it feels right, and you can trust that you're being supported. Again, I felt angelic energy coming in, so it feels like it's confirming that you will be able to handle this. You have the support. You have that new flame, that inspiration, that fiery energy coming in. Pile 1. More desire, a movement from feeling like maybe you're lacking the oomph, right? The desire. And I feel this is shifting for you. So let's look at your final 2 messages. We have the Shaman's Dream and the Black Moon astrology cards, because I want to see what is happening kind of overall astrologically, and as well as like the blessings and magic coming into your life. Okay, so we have Moon, Soul, and we have Repairing the Veil, Forgiveness. Okay, so let's get into these cards. So let's look at the Shaman's Dream card first. Repairing the veil, forgiveness, making amends, recognition of our unity. Between us all is a thin veil, appearing to be a space that separates us. We look through this veil and believe ourselves to be distinct from each other. We assume that our thoughts and feelings are our own. We see bodies and objects and the spaces between them, so we engage the world in relationships between a duality of us and them. This veil serves as a mysterious illusion, making it so hard to believe in our inherent connection and unity. We can't always remember that what we do to someone else, we at the same time do to ourselves. When we claw at the veil out of fear, anger, jealousy, or resentment, manipulate another, misuse our power, or allow someone's actions to diminish us, we create a wound felt by many, not just those of us in the smaller, direct relationship. Now is the time to examine where your actions have caused difficulty or harm to someone else, and also where you have been the recipient of harm. Regardless of what side you are on, it's important to take responsibility for healing this rift by bringing love, compassion, deep listening, and presence to whatever is not in harmony. Do this for you and for your own liberty, as you become an unwitting hostage once you take the role of perpetrator or victim, both positions of weakness. Let go of all your resentments. Know your part in the dynamic and make the appropriate amends with that newfound wisdom and understanding. Healing, forgiveness, and mending what is broken in your world is a sweet, much-needed declaration of freedom. Yes, you are doing this healing work. This is kind of taking importance at the beginning of the year to do this healing work, to again, release the negativity, release the resentment. You had resentment as well in the Serenity card. So maybe there's forgiveness of others, forgiveness of yourself, and that's just really opening you up, pile one, to so much more. And it will affect those around you too. And what's interesting is it reminded me of what came through for you in meditation, is that there is a new sense of not just a new home structurally, but it could be more internal, or like within the dynamic or relationship to others, like a new sense of family. And I do wonder, for some of you, maybe this rift could be within family or people who feel like family. And so there's healing there, and there's a new development or dynamic. You feel like connected again to family, whether it's with the same people, or you are able to kind of move forward and with a fresh start, make a new family for yourself, if that makes sense. You start to feel at home even within yourself. It feels stable, right? It feels serene. You want your home to feel stable and serene, right? So I feel like that's really what's coming through for you in the next year, pile one, is like that. This is a huge shift, and it does feel like you will have to have some patience, because it is such a big shift and change, and a lot's happening. It may take a while to see the results, but it is happening there. Just trust that. So let's see what the Black Moon Astrology card says about the moon, the soul. So there's a quote by Saint Teresa: "All things must come to the soul from its roots, where it is planted." What does your gut say? The moon asks. This card is all about mystery, feeling, and hidden messages. The moon is receptive. It governs intuition and self-protection. Its placement by sign and house indicate those areas to which we are the most emotional or sensitive. The moon represents what is felt instinctively and what is at the core of our emotions. In the astrological chart, the moon is our soul. It shows the intimate side of who we are. The moon represents security, the home we grew up in, and the need to hide away and recoup our energies. The moon shows how we respond emotionally and what we feel most deeply. Some believe the moon represents who we are in secret, and also memories from and who we were in past lives. The moon is our most innermost selves. About this matter, do not be shy. Allow yourself to shine. At this time, you may have trouble controlling your emotions, and you may want to do things that are safe. You are very sensitive, and you must gauge any feelings before entering a room or being with people you don't know. You like working alone, but you are also dependent on how others are responding to you now. The arts and helping professions suit you. You would do well working with persons with mental or emotional problems, or anyone who needs counseling. It is also a good time to rely upon your imagination and to pay attention to your dreams. When this card turns up in a reading, all is not as it seems, because something is being obscured. You may feel you have lost your direction, or that you don't have all the information to go forward. There is much you are sensing, but you may be hesitant to act. It may look as if it is difficult to cut through the fog to get to the real truth of any situation. So I've just read what stood out to me, because there is quite a bit in this book if you ever want to check out this card deck. But again, like, it is definitely making sense as far as the emotional side of things and needing to process what's there in the subconscious or the unconscious, what's within the emotions, what's kind of obscured, like needing to get clarity and move through some of that to bring in this newness, right? So there is the sense of doing the reparations, doing the healing work, and all the good can then come in for you, pile one, because you are this creative person that is meant to really embody, right, the moon's energy, the emotional energy but instead of being like overwhelmed by it or in emotional pain because of it or in confusion because of it, when you transform, when you forgive, when you heal, that emotional energy can be channeled out. It can be used to, make connections to other people and also within yourself, and a new sense of who you are. And you have that fiery energy come in. It almost feels like the shift of the water turning into fire, if that makes sense. You can, like, a sense of longing becomes desire. And so it just feels like it's a healthier balance for you, pile one, over this next year. A place where you are in your own power and you aren't at the mercy, I guess, of other people's emotions or your own emotions kind of running amok or controlling the situation, right? So this feels very powerful for you, pile one. I hope that this reading has helped you in some way. If you want to see more from me, then please hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this reading, then please give it a like. I wish you all the best. I give you my love. But until next time, bye, pile one. Hi, pile two. If you chose the card of nature, this is your reading. So before I get into the tarot cards and oracle cards, I'll go ahead and give you the messages that came through for your pile while in meditation. And I couldn't help but laugh when the nature card fell out because it made so much sense with what had come through before in meditation. So the first thing I saw was a coin, and it was on its side, like on the thin edge of the coin. And it felt like there was a light side of the coin and a dark side of the coin. And what I felt was that you were walking on that edge around the coin, and somehow you are in that between space, between the sides. And it reminded me a bit of the energy of the Wheel of Fortune, but there's a sense of you being in control and that you're kind of walking in that, along that edge is moving it, right? I did feel that you are very connected to the earth. You are the manifestors, the witches, having a very strong connection to the material realm, to that earth material reality, and that this next year will bring in a new balance and a moving forward where you are more in control, that you are more in your power, and there's like a renewed determination and confidence coming in this next year. And it honestly feels like the courage to say kind of like F you. And it's not necessarily like in a mean way or anything like that, but you just have this new confidence and you can own it. and you no longer worry about what anybody else thinks. Spirit gave me for each pile a symbol of shoes. So for you, pile 2, I saw dusty, worn in work boots, like comfortable walking boots that are ready for a journey. Like kind of tried and true, you know, they're gonna get you through any terrain, is what it felt like. And so I associated it again with that very material, earthy energy coming through, the physicality of it, as well as the new determination and confidence to move forward. With that being said, I want to go ahead and pull some tarot cards, and I am asking Spirit to bring through 6 cards, 2 for the start of the year, 2 for the middle, and 2 for the end, just as a general guide for like what kind of energies are coming in, what you can expect based on the current energy. That one's stuck in my hand. That's 3, but they stuck in my hand, so I'm gonna take it. Okay, so I want 2 more. Oh, okay. All right, so let's see what is coming in for 2023. All right, so the first thing that is catching my eye is right off the bat with the 6 of Swords. There is movement into oh my gosh, yeah, the light and dark contrast here with her in the middle. That's what I saw for you, is that you are right in between the light, or the dark and the light, right? And so luckily it feels like you are moving into the light. There is a progression forward. It's interesting because there is a path here. And so this is almost like that edge of the coin. So it might be that you're starting out kind of in between, and then maybe you don't know quite where to go with this, that it may be a little confusing, and I feel like you might be a little lost with the 5 of Pentacles, especially in this image. It can feel like you are alone and struggling a bit to find your way. I think what Spirit is saying is that even if you're along this path, kind of in between the light and dark, you are still going to be making strides. Okay, so it may just be that mentally it doesn't quite seem like things are where you want them to be, but it's almost like staying neutral and staying grounded so that mentally you don't spin out of control or go like back to the dark side, right? That will actually ease up and allow you to find some, I feel like the word respite is coming in, and maybe that's because there was that message here that you need that revitalization and nourishment, the healing that nature has to offer. And a lot of these cards are kind of heavily nature oriented. So I feel like Spirit's saying it may feel a bit like you're having to go at it alone, but Spirit is with you and you are more in control of this than maybe you feel. And so just try to stay neutral and not get swept up in those highs or lows, because that knocks you off balance. So if you can just keep coming back to your center, and maybe nature is that for you, where you can really get grounded and you can feel more connected and stable when you are out in nature or working with nature. And with the Knight of Pentacles, what's coming in is maybe a bit more clarity, as well as like a steadiness, like where you can see some of that progress building up for you. It looks like you could have some strong, like masculine energy come into your life. And here there's that sense of course, like the stability aspect, but also the kind of emotionally open and vulnerable. Like it's a sense of like being very like a softer side to the masculine, and maybe a little bit like of a slower pace, but it's steady. So it feels like there is like work being done. There is movement here, but it's not like super driven or quick, is what I'm feeling. And I keep getting that whatever this is for you, pile 2, it feels not only natural to you, but it's possibly like if this is a job, it's more in alignment with you and how you operate. I feel like some of you may be more introverted and like to like make your own routine and work the way that is best for you without having to adhere to anything like other people's expectations. But there's also an opportunity to really connect, and not like you aren't with people, but it's in a way that is still very much in alignment with who you are energetically and emotionally. And it's not like high pressure, I guess, is what it feels like. There's some ease here. And it seems like you move from a much more lonely, maybe isolated place at the start of the year. You move from that into feeling, even if you're alone, you don't feel lonely. You don't feel isolated. You make new connections, and by the end of the year, it feels like you have beautiful connections with others. You have relationships that flourish. You have friendship. I keep kind of getting the impression of maybe there's a wedding. Maybe for some of you are getting married, or there's going to be an event like a wedding, like something like that. And it's kind of embodying that energy of moving from the dark to the light for you. It's kind of like highlighting how much progression there is. I feel like some of you, maybe you're like going to be part of like a coven or something, because I did get that feeling that some of you might identify, as witches, or someone who works, with the natural cycles, and so maybe pagan or something. But the interesting thing is here is that connection. And with the Four of Pentacles, there is, again, that very earthy line like running through this reading. So you have more stability, you have a foundation. It feels like, I guess, towards the end of the year, like you've built up from the Knave of Pentacles, like in the middle of next year. It feels like there's more built up, more of a foundation, and you might have to make a decision about where to move next in your life. And of course, like the end of the year can kind of hold some of that pressure, but it feels like you're in a much better position by the end of next year than maybe starting out. There's a lot more joy and connection here. There's joy within what you do, who you are with, how you navigate life. Like there's much more of a sense of community and of serving in some way. Even if you are working alone, I still feel like there's something that you're doing that's very creative, and again in that material realm, that your contribution cannot be overlooked. And again, like with those kind of dusty work boots that came in, it's like you will have to kind of get down and dirty, I guess. You know, you have to put the boots on and work the fields, you know, like you are going to have to work, but it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel heavy pressure. This actually feels very enjoyable. And maybe you literally will be working out in nature in some way. The natural state of nature is to create. So maybe you are just working in that very creative way, or you are taking your spirituality from one of like kind of alone in it to you are making connections with others, and it feels very empowering. So let's go ahead and see what the oracle cards say here. So we have 2 cards from Moonology. Okay, so we have meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. And we have the answers you need are coming, full moon in Gemini. So it does seem like with that card for the answers you need are coming, it is making me think of the 5 of Pentacles, that you are waiting for something here to come in to clarify. And maybe this is you, like with Gemini, like it's that connection to someone else. It's that communication and understanding. With meditate and contemplate, I feel like this is where you get to this, is that, again, if you stay neutral in that meditative, neutral, in between space, it opens you up. It brings in more stability and joy. But it is just about being, I feel like I had to use the word patience in pile 1. And that word, it can kind of be annoying, at least to me, to hear, you know, have patience. But in a way it is. But it feels like it's going to happen very easily. It's not going to feel like you're waiting and waiting. It's more about just stepping back and being okay in that in-between state as things are processing, and it just allows everything you need to flow in so much more easily. It's kind of like with the 5 of Pentacles in this image, with her maybe being lost, not knowing where to go, which direction to go. If she were to panic, she could get more lost. It would be worse for her than if she were to get centered, take a rest, meditate, and then move forward. Like, take a beat to think about what next, right? So I think that's what it is like there needs to be, just moving into the next year, a conscious releasing from that pressure. I just feel like even though there is this kind of masculine energy of getting things done, taking action, there's hard work to do, it's not a heavy pressure type of work. And I just feel like that's really an important part of this message from Spirit, because you need that respite. So let's see what kind of blessings or magical things are coming in for you over the next year. Okay, so we have good cheer. With kind heart and humor free, may good cheer rule, so mote it be. And immediately, I'm like the 3 of chalices energy. We have energy, a light inside my fire divine. Energy fill me, make me shine. Yeah, so this is again relating to nature, is that you need energy. Like, it's okay to take a beat and to just be in between and allow things to process. Like, it's like you walking on the edge of the coin gets it rolling. Like, you don't have to keep forcing it. The natural momentum now is going to carry it, and it's okay to be in that in between, right? And then we have new beginnings. Let this magic in my spell clear the space in which I dwell. Yeah, and of course, there's always connections between the readings that I do, I feel like. And so for pile 1, there was a sense of a new beginning, and I feel like you're getting that as well. You are moving so far from the darkness here to this new foundational, very like rich life, this rich environment, like every aspect of it, from what you do, how you feel, where you are, the people you connect with, it just feels like a new beginning. So let's see what the final 2 messages are. Okay, so I had to switch out the battery, but let's go ahead and look at your final messages, which is going to be from the Shaman's Dream Oracle and the Black Moon Astrology. So for the Shaman's Dream, we have Wailing Tree, Reconciliations. And for Black Moon Astrology, we have Saturn, Truth. So let's go ahead and I'm going to read from the books for these. '59, Wailing Tree. Grief and mourning, a time of necessary losses, reconciliations. When you encounter the wailing tree on your path, it's an invitation to stay a while and regroup, a place for you to rest and allow yourself to say goodbye to what no longer serves. You may have been overdoing things, working too hard, or putting too much effort into life with little reward. If you've been considering making a change, now is the time to do so. One important thing to consider before you make any changes is that you need to allow yourself to feel your disappointment, your loss, and mourn what was, and what not be. This is a way to honor your experience, to give yourself time to consider all the gifts in it, to put proper closure on it, to really know what you've learned as you walk away from it and into something new. Even in the perception of failure, there is much good to be discovered. However, skipping the stages of loss doesn't get you to reconciliation any faster. In fact, you will discover that you will have to come back at some point. So do it all now. Look at it all squarely and honestly and stay with your feelings. Life is not either or. It's both and. This and that. So as you dive in and process this, allow it to become a temporary travel companion on your journey. The feelings that this will bring to the surface will be challenging for sure. Yet, like all things, they will pass soon enough, and you will be more enriched by the experience. Yes, pile 2. Wow. I mean, that's exactly the feeling that I was getting, is that there isn't that pressure for you. It's not pressure, even though it's work. And that's what Spirit is saying that you need. Like, it's time to not work too hard or overdo things, that the effort you put in, it's going to feel good. It's going to feel like it's not work, work in that way. And you need this time, again, like it said, to regroup. You need that time to rest, to revitalize, to be in that in-between space and not just rush in, right, to the lightness. Like, it's okay to look back and need to mourn. It's okay. Like, it's all going to happen anyway, because again, there's that momentum with the coin that you've started, that Wheel of Fortune. It's going to keep turning and process out. But maybe this is what it's kind of saying here, is that this is coming in for you, but you have to kind of be in that stage. You have to be in that stage of being open, in that contemplative space. And that, I love that it's both and, this and that. Like, it is the light and the dark. So let's go ahead and look at the Black Moon astrology card, and I will just read what stands out to me, because these are quite long. Saturn Truth. The Saturn card says that it may feel bad now, but it is going to be resolved. Saturn is a planet of the Reaper, the Lord of Karma, and this rainbow planet represents what is tangible and solid in our lives. Saturn in astrology is often referred to as the god who ate his own children, because the energy of this planet seems to show no mercy. But Saturn is not exactly cruelty. It simply points out what is true and cuts away what is delusional or no longer useful. When the Saturn card presents itself, know that you are being challenged. It is time to make it or break it. Life may seem harsh and restrictive. You are facing an enemy who may be yourself. Saturn shows us that at times it is in our better interest not to have those things we want, and that if we were to have them, they could lead us to our destruction. If this is a time of sorrow or hopelessness, realize it's all about diligence, sticking to what you believe in and adhering to your goals. This is a period in your life that emphasizes toughness and work. It's all about not giving up and following through. Saturn also deals with power and control. Any rallying against authority or tradition will not serve you well at this moment. On the more positive side, you may meet a fatherly type who will help you advance with your goals. Saturn can sometimes herald the appearance of a sage or a teacher. This will be no small thing and can indicate a mentor arriving just when you are in most need of one. The gift of Saturn is keeping you on your path, helping you face parts of your life you may dread, but you simply must fulfill. They are your contracts toward more solid achievements and a better life. Circumstances may be harsh for a while, but believe your sacrifices to be worth it. It is a good time to be diligent and not rush anything. Whatever you are asking about is likely to take considerable time and not come about too quickly. Wow. So some of you, maybe you're going through your Saturn return, or it's upcoming, or maybe there's something that took place in your Saturn return that could be coming back around. Like maybe you're seeing the results. I'm not an astrologer, but I have experienced the Saturn return. And so I do feel like you are going to experience some easing up, that it won't be that, energy of Saturn for too long, but it may start out that way. But it seems like if you are working with it and not fighting against this energy, that things flow into you. And like I was feeling, there could be some masculine energy coming in, and it feels, again, like not overbearing or overpowering or too restrictive. Like it's with the King of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles, it feels a little bit easier, I guess, is the only way I can think to say it. It's not quite as heavy or restrictive. And this is good. This is good for you, whether it's actually people or just an energy, like a sense of how you are starting to show up and embody energy. So pile 2, it looks like there's processing, but it feels like you're in a good space. You're in a good position to process and move forward and really bring in what it is you want. And again, new beginnings, happiness, joy. Definitely just go back to your happy space in nature if that resonates with you. Using nature as your touchstone is what it feels like. Keep you grounded. I hope this reading was helpful for you in some way. If you want to see more from me, then please hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this reading, then give it a like. I wish you all the best. I give you my love. But until next time, bye, pile 2. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the card of hope, then this is your reading. And before we get into the oracle and tarot cards, I'm going to go ahead and give you the messages that came through for you in meditation. So the first thing I got is that there is a feeling of letting go, of taking a leap of faith. And this feels not scary, but almost relaxing. Like there's a relaxing into it. There's a closing of the eyes. And the sense I got was that you were almost falling backwards, relaxing into a purple flower. And this feels like there's more sleep, more rest. There's an inner connection. And it's like you are starting to develop that within yourself. You're starting to listen to what's within rather than without. And you're not being told how to be. And the funny thing is, Spirit gave me the image of shoes for each pile. And so your pair of shoes, a pair of Converse shoes, and it felt like you are more artistic in some way, more creative. And so I think about Converses that are like decked out, painted, drawn on. It's a way of showing how unique you are. And it's like you are then wearing them on the outside to show how unique you are on the inside, if that makes sense. I feel like some of you might be musicians. It feels like you're on maybe a course correction toward what you want over this next year. And I felt like that sense of transformation of being in that stage of the cocoon or the chrysalis. And it made me think again of you falling into that purple flower and almost like wrapping around you, that this is preparation for a big transformation. I also got the sense of like a compass being worn almost like a medallion and resting at your heart chakra. So it feels again like you're following your heart, what you want, what you are kind of course correcting to, right? So I do want to go ahead and pull some tarot cards. I want to get 2 cards for the beginning of the year, 2 cards for the middle, and 2 cards for the end to see what might be coming up for you energetically, just within your life, to give some context generally about what to expect. Okay, those are yours. I need one more. I like this one. Okay, so let's see what is coming in for you. Okay, wow. Pile 3. So right off the bat, we have some strong energy. We have the sun. So I feel like, especially with hope here, this is a blessing. This is casting positivity through the whole reading. So with hope, there is lightness coming in. And this year feels like it's going to be quite important for you in how you start something new. We've got, of course, the sun, which we associate with fire, right? With warmth. And we have the Two of Wands. And with the Two of Wands here, there's this concentrated energy and a focus on what you want. This feels like you start building and taking steps toward something, and this is you getting the energy to do that. And I feel like at the start of this year, like maybe there's something that really comes in that sparks that hope within you for whatever this is for this next year, because it feels like this spark, this energy with the sun and the Two of Wands, it opens up a new door for you to actually build something, to start creating something in your life that feels like a dream come true. Like it is what you want. It's finally happening is what it feels like. I feel like you've been holding on to hope for a while, and it felt like it wasn't happening for you, pile 3, for a while. Like what you wanted, what you were hoping for. But I feel like you've had this hope. Whether you feel it or not, I feel like it's been there at some level, like a faith that this will work out for you. And it feels like 2023 sets something in motion within you, but also within the people around you. Like suddenly there's more support. There's more resources here for you. You have the energy, the desire, the understanding of how to move forward. Like you can actually start to set some things in motion here. And I feel like you get to indulge with the 9 of chalices. You're going to indulge, and this feels really good, but I do wonder if there's a sense that you have toward the end of the year. And I say this because we have the devil here too, but we also have the hanged man. There could be a sense of like something old comes back that starts to kind of interfere with how well things have been going this next year. And so it's a little bit of like a heads up that maybe it's old thought patterns. It's that old way of thinking where you moved out of, the darkness, out of the struggle. You had hope. But maybe there's a little bit of a thought like, wait, what if I didn't deserve this? What if you get going and then you feel like things are happening for you, it's what you want? There could be some thinking or a feeling of, do I deserve this? Is this really what I want? Is it too good to be true? I'm also feeling like it could make you afraid that you might lose it. So maybe for some of you there is, an old fear around if you have hope for something, if you get something, you then have that chance to lose more, to be disappointed. And I just feel like Spirit's warning you not to go down that route. But I do wonder if, again, like towards the end of the year, there's a lot of, gathering with family, and like old dynamics can kind of rear their head, and it can be challenging to not fall back into old patterns. And that's kind of the energy I'm getting, is that it would just be a residual old pattern, a temptation in a way to fall back into that. And I feel like the hanged man is that balance to not go that far, right? To catch yourself. Maybe in the past you would have dove straight in to something that wouldn't be good for you. But luckily what it feels like is there's so much positive growth and development up to this point that you really don't have to worry, because you're coming from a new foundation and stable position here with the hanged man. I like this rendition because it's a yoga pose and it feels more in control, right? You've practiced this before. You're ready for this. And so with the hanged man as well, this feels like you taking a beat, like you're going to get some movement here and starting something new. I feel like some of you might be starting a new job or career path or something, like really going after something of your dreams. It could also be related to, family. This is a very, obviously a general reading, so take what resonates. But with the hanged man, it is a reminder that when you are doing so much throughout the year, that you will need time to rest. And that's okay. I do want to go ahead and look at your Moonology cards and your magical spell cards to see what's coming in for you. Okay, so we have a time to give rather than take, new moon in Virgo, and we have work through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. Yeah, so this is such a beautiful balance. So for some of you, this might really resonate, that whatever you're working towards and building up and planning for, your dream, it's going to feel really positive, and that you are giving back, that you are bringing in the light in some way for others. I feel like for some of you, you might be maybe counseling other people in some way and showing how you have processed difficult situations, like this card here, like how you had hope and you were able to heal and process and still remain hopeful. You will hold that and show that for other people. And I feel that with the Hanged Man for some reason, that there's almost like a break where you help people not go down the way of the devil, right? In temptation or falling into old patterns and things like that. I feel like in some way you're going to get to that point and be that for other people because you're doing that yourself. Maybe you've been doing this before and it feels like there is breakthrough energy and there's a lot of momentum. And then there's, again, because we go through cycles, there's maybe a new cycle of where you slow down a little bit and you process, and we always have to reprocess old stuff. We think we've worked through a fear, we can like move forward in some way, and then we have to do a little bit more work later on. It's cyclical, or I've heard it described as a spiral, so we end up being at that same point again, but at a new level, right? At a higher level. So that could be possibly what this is. And luckily you're going to be so much better off in handling this. I feel like you are almost like a professional at having hope, pile 3, because you know that your dream is coming true. I feel like you're coming to this, like you see the good in the world. And I think it was pile 1 that had a similar kind of feeling about seeing the good and the beauty and wanting to be a part of that, right? As someone who creates, who serves other people in some way, you are able to embody that and give it and share it with the world. But you also know what it's like to have not felt yourself, like with that devil energy, what it's felt like. And so you can be hope for other people. So let's see what magical blessings are coming in for you, pile 3. We have creativity. By all above and all below, let me connect, let creativity flow. Yeah, you're creative. You're in that kind of abundance of creativity. We have grace, blessing, come to me to set me free. Yeah, you, like with the devil in that traditional imagery of the devil and being chained, right? Being restricted. Grace comes in here to set you free. And I feel like you're embodying grace for others. You are this embodiment of hope and grace, and really this energy of the sun is what you can bring in to how you show up and work with others. Like when you make a wish, everybody else feels it around you. Then we have study. Let my mind be clear and strong. Let me study well and long. Okay, so there's something else maybe you're undertaking next year. And maybe that's what it is that you're starting on a new path. You are seeing where your desires are and you're planning it out. Like you feel that passion to move forward and to bring it into your world, and you start those building blocks. Feels like a dream come true for you. So if for some of you that literally could be some sort of study or schooling, something like that. But again, I was feeling for some of you that you will I feel like you will learn maybe to teach, that you will learn how to be that example for other people. And maybe there is a fear about being that, but I feel like with the Hanged Man, it is about being calm and letting it happen, which is easier said than done. But you do feel called to give, to serve others, to teach others, to lead others in some way. And you do it in a way that other people don't. Again, with the converse, you are this very unique person who approaches things in a different way, and you can reach people that maybe wouldn't otherwise be reached. And they need your guidance as well. So I do want to get into your 2 final messages. We have a card from the Shaman's Dream Oracle and the card from the Black Moon Astrology deck. So I will be reading from the book for both. So let's see what we've got. Okay, we have 49, Skywriting the Fates. And we have Venus, Love. Okay. So for Skywriting the Fates, that which we cannot change, non-judgment. It is written in the sky that you have a destiny. You are being invited to explore certain aspects of life unique to you and you alone. That does not mean that your path will be easy, paved with gold and littered with diamonds, nor does this predict that your journey will be treacherous. It is just your path, with parts that cannot be changed and must be radically accepted as they are. In this way, whatever you are faced with, every single aspect of your life is perfect in its imperfection. Not good or bad, neither inflow nor blocked, this nor that. See your life as a series of opportunities rather than an obstacle course. Once you master the skill of non-judgment, you open to the power of curiosity, unencumbered by the burdens of yesterday's fear, as you look ahead into the potential of the future. Yes, you still need to be brave. Right now, you are facing a critical moment in time with an opportunity to meet your fate, a choice point where you expand your influence and your capacity for abundance, love, and purposeful action. Now is the moment to leap into it, whether it be a heart connection, a call to creativity, or a new identity in your work or other area of life. With all your heart and soul, your success is surely written in the stars. In order to bring your destiny to fruition, you must jump into the adventure with both feet and do your part. Yes, pile 3. Yes, the aspects of life that are unique to you and you alone. You are unique. Your life is unique. You're being called to explore this on your journey, and jumping into the adventure with both feet. I mean, that's that leap of faith I was feeling for you. Relaxing into it, just allowing it, coming in with the Hanged Man as non-judgment. Being an observer, see how this plays out, because you're coming from a place where you're processing out those fears and allowing the light to shine in and let it carry you. This feels so positive, pile 3. And you are expanding. You're expanding your influence and your capacity for abundance, love, and purposeful action. I love that. So this is exciting for you. So let's see, with Venus, I'm just going to read what stands out to me because the messages are fairly long in this book. I do really recommend this deck if you want to check it out. And I'm sorry if you hear the fireworks. It is the new year, so that's exciting. The Venus card says to let love take care of it for now. Venus is the morning star and the brightest of the planets. It is the planet of beauty and balance and is named after the goddess of love and romance, which is what the planet rules. She was once associated with Lucifer, who is not a demon, but an angel of light who fell to the earth plane from the heavens. In reality, the part of the astrological chart Venus rules is where we want the good life, where we desire ease and comfort, sweets and kisses, where we want to see beautiful, be beautiful, and smell beautiful. Venus is the lesser Neptune. Love, romance, and art are her domains, yet she doesn't get lost in them and lose her practical side. In fact, Venus is the planet of fashion, luxuries, balance, symmetry, artistic ability, and sugary foods, and she prefers to overlook the ugliness of the world. Venus also rules money, especially money shared in a partnership or marriage, but this can be a business enterprise as well. Money worries should find resolution. Art, hair salons, restaurants, movies, concerts, dance recitals, craft shows, cosmetics, and fashion may figure in. You may be dealing with artists or people who work in the arts. You may discover a more creative and artistic side to yourself. Venus is the most humane and fair of the planets, so you may be asked or feel compelled to settle a dispute. Courts, law, and judgments may factor in. When the Venus card presents itself in a reading, the first thing to focus on is romance and love, but after that, creativity and refinement. That's beautiful, pile 3. So, of course, like you being this artistic and unique being and embodying that and showing it and sharing it with others, your creativity, your love, your grace, your hope, everything you are, it is so natural to you. And it is meant to be this way. And you're also, again, I think it's interesting, that sense of balance with the Hanged Man and Venus being the most fair and balanced. Like maybe you can hold this for others and show people that that's what hope is about. It's about not getting caught up in the fear and the negative. You can see both sides and know that you can move out of that and that there's so much more to life. You can see that and share that with other people and be a guide in some way. And I also think it's interesting that there was an association between Venus and Lucifer. I just thought that was kind of interesting. I did not know that. So yeah, maybe, in a sense, the devil is not what it seems. You see through that facade, right? Like in the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, they can take the chains off of their heads in reality. They just kind of keep themselves trapped there because they're caught up in that illusion. So you've seen through it, pile 3, and I feel like you're meant to share this with other people. And this is just your path, and it's uniquely you. It's uniquely your path. And you're out there creating. You're creating this beautiful world, pile 3. And this next year looks very, very bright. So I hope this reading was helpful for you in some way. If you want to see more from me, then please hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the reading, then give it a like. And I wish you all the best. I give you my love. But until next time, bye, pile 3.